This video is going to be a really personal and private video. This year I planned to do a series all about the place that I work, which is an awakened coma department, and I work there as a nurse. And I was really into it when the idea came to me, and of course I'm still into it. But while preparing for that video, gathering the anamnese, which is the biography of the patients, I have encountered a very personal struggle. In 2004, I have a video about my husband getting a stroke when we moved into this house, and how his recovery is not going as well. If he could do more, but he is stuck in, I tell him he's stuck in his own world, and that is having a big effect on me and the kids. And I have titled this video, The Struggles that I'm facing in my God searching journey. I think that is how the title came to me, and that is how I wrote it down. The struggles in my God seeking journey. And you know, I started when my husband got a stroke in March 2024. That was 2 months after we have moved into this house. When he got a stroke, the day that I was called at work, and they told me he flew to Malaysia, and the police here called me and told me that my husband has suffered a stroke in Malaysia. They gave me the contact and everything. I do not know how I drove that day from my work to the house. Actually, to the police station. They asked me to come to the station, to the department first, and then from there I came home. I was crying. I was confused. I was not the one that was driving the car. Since then, I cried every night on my drive to work and back home. I went to the basement and I cried. When I came home, I sat in my car and I cried before I entered the house so the kids won't see. If tears could run out, mine will be completely dry by now. Until I went to Malaysia, we transported him with an air ambulance. He came here. He was in the hospital for a while. Then he was sent to a rehabilitation center for almost 4 months, and he started walking. His left hand is still not working. He walks, but he does not walk perfect. At the rehab, he was put on antidepressives and sleeping pills. The antidepressive, he has been able to get rid of those tablets. He doesn't take them anymore. But the sleeping pills, he is hooked on them. He cannot get off them. My husband basically goes to bed at 9 o'clock at night. And when his stroke happened, I came to the realization that I need help. And no human being can help me. I need God in my life to guide me on what to do. And of course, he guided me. He gave me the knowledge to arrange the transportation from Malaysia to here. Ever since then, I have dedicated so much of my time reading the Bible. Studying the Bible, not just reading, because I read and then I make notes of the passages, the verses that I have read. So studying the Bible is the right way to put it. And I have been investing time in meditation, trying to get to know myself on both the physical and the inner self. which has all helped me a lot. I have become more calm. I do not react as much like I used to. I have developed a lot of faith, but following this path is the most difficult thing I have ever done in my life. This year I'll be 42, and my husband is years older than me. And this year in particular, it's January is still not ended. I have been confronted with a temptation that is beyond my control. And it makes me wake up every day saying, seeking God is the most difficult thing anyone can do. It's the most difficult journey a human being can embark on. As I was saying, from the rehab, my husband got a few issues, even though from there he started walking and there were positives that came along, there were negatives. He told me that the day that he got discharged, the doctors had like a meeting with him and they told him, yeah, we are sorry you weren't able to recover completely. It is not everybody that recovers, so you might have to live with the disabilities that you are left with. And so he came home with the mindset that the left hand that isn't working, that is how it's going to stay. We invested money in buying those stroke robot hands and equipments that he barely used. He was just sleeping from morning till evening. I came home from work and the kids told me he slept all day. And taking a shower has become struggle. He doesn't want to take a shower anymore. He goes an entire week without taking a shower, and he only does it when normally we had an arrangement. He takes his shower every day, and once in a week I help him to wash his hair because the left hand isn't working. So of course a lot of things are difficult. You do not realize how much you need both hands until you cannot use one hand. So that agreement was he washes every day, and once in a week I help him wash thoroughly and wash his hair and everything. Well, guess what? He doesn't do his part. He waits for me to help him and do everything. And it's been almost 2 years now, and even though I meditate, even though I'm studying my Bible, even though I talk to God, I am still human. And I am experiencing, that is why when I watch some people on these spiritual, I won't call them leaders, but spiritual enthusiasts that, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it well, but forgive me, I speak German, so thinking in German and English, sometimes I confuse the words. So the spiritual path lovers that say, yeah, everything you are experiencing is just an illusion, and nothing is real, and nothingness and duality. And well, guess what? I don't believe in all that. Yes, this life is temporal. Everything that is happening is passing, but still you are experiencing these things. These things, you are feeling them as a human being. And at some point, just because you love God, just because you are following, you are searching for God, just because you want to live a godly life, does not mean that you are not human. Does not mean that you cannot get upset. It doesn't mean that you do not get tired. It doesn't mean that you do not feel pain. It doesn't mean that you do not feel emotions. All of those things, you are feeling them. And the positive side is you become aware of them. You don't just fall in it and just wander for like an hour and just be soaked in your misery. You start wondering, you become aware of it, and then you realize, why am I thinking about this? And then you let go. That is what I have experienced. But it goes on over and over. Every week we argue over the same thing. I try to just ignore it. I told him, you know what, just do whatever you want. If you don't want to take a shower anymore, let your body rot and just do whatever you want. But guess what? You cannot. He's my husband. We've been married for 17 years. We have 2 kids, an almost 16 years old and an almost 10-year-old. They still need him, and he doesn't see it like that. And the temptation that I'm facing now is where I work. There is a patient, and the patient's dad. He's divorced. This is a no-go, what I'm going to talk about now, but it is the temptation I'm facing, and I am sure I am not the only woman that is facing this or that has faced this. And I'm sharing it because, certain things people keep to themselves, and you would think you are the only person going through such a thing, but you are not. So this patient of mine, he is a coma department, an awakening coma department, and the dad comes there, and I've seen him cry a couple of times. The parents are divorced. The mother is, in German, there's something called Erwachsenenvertreter. That is like the person that makes decisions for the son. When your son is in a situation due to whatever sickness, and they are not capable of making decisions anymore, both parents have to decide. One has to be the one that is in charge of making decisions for the kid. And the dad said that he told the mother, they have been divorced since 2006. He told the mother to take that role because the dad has a job that requires him to move around a lot. So he let the woman do it. And he said that that was the biggest mistake he did, because the woman is deciding that the boy is not going to get better because majority of the brain is dead. And so the doctors should just pull the plugs. And the dad is like a believer. He believes in energy. That's what he told me, in energy. And he says that everything inside him tells him that his son will recover. Of course, he will not recover 100% and go and steady, but he will recover, and he doesn't want to pull the plugs. And when I started talking to him one day, he was crying. He got all emotional, and I told him, you know what? You're not just the only one that something bad happened to them in 2024, because he said that was the worst year he ever had. Ever since then, his gray hairs has gotten more, and he looked like he aged more. And I told him, just to console him, I also opened up and I told him, you're not the only one. I had this and this. My husband suffered a sudden stroke, and we had just moved into a house with 2 kids, and I shared my story with him. And whenever I take care of the son, he comes and he appreciates it. So we started talking, and one time we were going to mobilize the son, and I got in touch with him because we have phone numbers of all our patients and relatives. And I got in touch with him, and I said, hey, we are going to put your son in a combi Lysa chair. It's like a special chair that we put our patients in because they don't have any muscle strength. They cannot hold themselves. So you have to put them in chairs that can hold them in properly, and someone still has to sit and watch them. And so I asked, we want to set him out. Are you coming to visit him today? And then you can stay with him for an hour or two, maybe take him out in our winter garden and have him enjoy a little bit of sun. It is an enclosed space with glass. And then he said, no, rather unfortunately, I would love for him to come out, but I cannot come on errands for work, but I will send my sister. And then the sister came and spent the time with him. That was 2 hours. And ever since then, he was so appreciative. He started writing, texting me and saying how thankful he was that I arranged that and made that happen, because he has been laying for a year and his lungs need to get air circulation. But he has been laying that long because he really had some serious stuff going on and he needed that long break. Now his situation is stable, even though nothing has changed in the brain. His situation is stable, and so we are gradually implementing mobilisation, which is mobilizing him and setting him out and not having him lay down the whole day. And so we started chatting back and forth. Sometimes he will ask me, how is your day going? And I will write, yeah, it's going okay. And then suddenly we find ourselves flirting with each other. He actually writes me and gives me compliments. Oh, you looked so pretty today at work, and you're such a wonderful woman. Your husband must try really hard to make things work, because you deserve all the happiness in this world. And just gradually, and talking, I find myself getting attracted to him. He invited me for a coffee last week, and I went and I sat there with him. We sat there for like 45 minutes. He first started talking about his son, of course, because he had a CT scan and he was nervous. And I said, yeah, you shouldn't worry. I mean, what will happen will happen. And he said, yeah, but the thing is, the doctors don't believe in miracles and all this stuff. And at the end of the coffee time, we walked on the street to my car, and then I asked him where he parked, and I walked him to his car. And then when he got home, then he texted me and said, wow, it was such a beautiful evening. I felt so confident walking with you out in your little area. And I find myself falling for this man. And I know I am aware of what I'm doing, and I know it is not the right thing to do. And so I sat my husband down, and before I started chatting with this man, I told my husband, if you do not want to improve, if you don't want to do what you have to do to improve, let me know so that I can give up with you and just say that this ship is sealed, because I'm giving you all the support you need, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything in return. I don't feel like you are trying hard enough. So I sit him down after the coffee meeting, and I told him, you know what? You are pushing me to a point that I do not want to go further. Deep down inside me, I have no intentions to cheat on you. I have no intentions to leave you, especially in this situation that you're in. But I am so confused. Do you want to improve or not? Do you want to get back to normal life? Will you step out of this house? He doesn't go anywhere. He is stuck in this house. And he tells me, you know what? I think I know why I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to do my exercises. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. And I said, why? Because I actually told him if he doesn't start taking his personal hygiene, he doesn't shave, it's like, it is ridiculous. And I tell him I will move out of our bedroom and go to a different room. The basement, down in the first floor, we have a guest room there, and I will go and sleep there. And then he's like, no, you shouldn't. As soon as you go and sleep there, first of all, it's going to be weird for the kids. And second of all, that will mean it is finished between us. When two couples decide to sleep separate, then you know that is the end. And I told him, well, I'm giving you a chance. I am this close to moving on with my life. Of course, we don't need to separate. Of course, we can live in the same house. What you want is for me to cook for you and nothing else. We do not have any body contact. We do not have sex, nothing. So we are basically living together. And I do not see myself to live like this for the rest of my life at the age of 42. And I have come across somebody that I like as a friend, but I am afraid that I am developing a more closer feeling for him, which is uncomfortable for me right now because I am married to you and you're my husband. And I want us to stay married and be like a husband and wife. But if you are not willing to make changes, make big changes, then I will have to just let go of this. And then I think I went back a little. And then he said, yeah, I think I found out why I'm not doing this and that. And I said, why? And then he said, well, because I think my subconscious mind is trying to sabotage me. And I was shocked. I was like, I was just speechless for a couple of minutes. And I said, really? You finally realized it? Because whenever I told him everything you are saying is in your head, just try and get in your head and clear it, he will always tell me, yeah, how do you know you are not inside me? It is in you and you can just talk crap. And so I was like, really? You finally realized that? And then I said, and then he said, yes, because my unconscious mind wants to do all those things so that I will avoid arguing with you and make you happy. But then my subconscious mind tells me, why should you even try? She might leave you anyway. It's like, you're not going to recover anyway. Why should you try? So he thinks his subconscious mind is sabotaging him. And I told him, you know what? You have been enlightened. It takes so many people years and years to see what you have just seen. And some people might never come to that realization till the day they die. So be thankful that you have been given this vision, or whatever you want to call it, this knowledge, this eye-opening moment, and you know where the problem lies and what are you going to do about it. And then he said, I'm going to try and take the showers and work harder and do this and do that. Guess what? It's been 3 days and I'm still watching him. This video is just to tell you that, again, choosing to search for God or choosing to follow God's path, to me, is the most difficult thing. Because if you choose this path and you start following it, the good and the bad things are like laid in front of you, just like this. It's like you are staring at it. Your physical body is so tempted, wants to do those things that will please it so much, but your soul doesn't allow you, and you fight and you keep and you keep. When I write with this man, I am laughing inside me. I am happy. I forget all my problems when I'm chatting with him. And then when I fall in that moment, then something tells me, why are you getting excited? Why are you doing this? You shouldn't do this. You know? And it is really hard. It is really, really hard. It's the hardest thing I have ever come across in my life. And every day I get up and my prayer before I go to work is, God, do not lead me into temptation. Help me and do not lead me into temptation. That is my daily prayer. And if it is His will that my husband will recover, then of course it will happen. And if it is not His will that he will recover, and this is all a karma and it's a price and I have to pay, then He should give me the strength and the courage to pass through it. And maybe when I'm done passing through it, then maybe my portion of whatever will come or not. And so I just want to end this video here. It is almost 11 and I need to get up early and go to work tomorrow. I just want to end the video here by saying that people say when you start searching for God, when you become, I don't even know if I am enlightened or not. I have no idea where I stand. All I know is that I am so aware of myself and my thoughts and everything I do that it freaks me out sometimes how aware I am of them and how I am almost like braked when I want to do something that isn't right, And I fight it because, again, one part of me wants to do it and the other part of me tells me it's not the right thing. And it is so hard. I hope that I do not give up. I hope that I will continue. Like tonight, I was listening to Don Moore, the song that he played. He says, God is good all the time. I love that song. And the part that he says, even though we are not worthy, he came to die for our sins. Of course, I am not worthy. My mind think all those lustful thoughts. And as a woman in my 40s, 42, of course I crave affection. Of course I crave love. Of course I crave closeness. And not having those things and knowing that there is someone there that is willing to give me that, whether it is genuine or not, I do not know. That mind, that ego, that lustful part of me wants that, but my spirit doesn't allow me to. And something keeps telling me, you don't want to regret it, you don't want to regret it, you don't want to regret it. So I'm doing this video just to put it out there. If you are going through something similar, or maybe you are not even going through something similar at all, you have everything going perfect for you. Well, what should I say? Hope you remember me in your prayers when you pray. And I pray for myself daily for God to strengthen me and guide me through this temptation that I'm facing. And yeah, what else can I say? Thank you for watching. I hope it will help you somehow. And I will make sure that I post my first video on my first patient, because I'm going to go through the list of the patient from the youngest to the oldest and just go through their diagnosis, their current situation and what is expected and those things. And so yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. You can like and subscribe if you want. Nobody is forcing you. But of course, it is appreciated if you do. And I wish you a good night or a good evening or a good morning wherever you are and at what time you're watching this video. Have to go to bed now. Thank you. Bye.